Shalom, this is Rabbi Mark Kunis and my Taste of Torah for Parshat Lecha 5781. Today I would like to speak to you about the Bible codes. A little over 20 years ago, Michael Drosnin, in his best-selling book, The Bible Code, introduced the world to a concept that has been part of Judaism for thousands of years. And that is that there are many layers of knowledge contained in the Torah, and some of them are found in secret codes. And that when you begin to unpack some of those codes, it will be revealed how the Torah could not have been created by anyone else, by God. Michael Drosnin, in his book, introduced the world to the ELS, equal letter skipping coding, that has greatly expanded in our time with the use of computers. This code notes that there are places in the Torah that if you take every 50th letter or every 7th letter or some other number, you will find names and places and historic events encoded there. Events that happened thousands of years after the Torah was given. Let me give you two examples. Towards the end of the Torah, God tells the Jewish people about to enter the Promised Land that if they abandon his Torah and worship other gods, he will spread them among the peoples of the earth, and they will serve other gods. The god of wood and the god of stone are specifically mentioned. Encoded in those verses, every 50th letter are the words Yeshu, Jesus, and Mecca. Jesus is the god of wood, and Mecca, Saudi Arabia, we have the black stone sacred to Islam. A more contemporary example that Drosnin brings is the coding of the name Yitzhak Rabin, the prime minister of Israel that was assassinated. Intersecting his name is the phrase in the Torah, a murderer who murders. And nearby was encoded the name of the assassin, Amir. In this week's Torah portion, there is a different kind of code that answers the question, what makes the story of Abraham, Sarah, and Sarah going down to Egypt important enough to be included in the Genesis narrative? The Ramban, 13th century master commentator, also known as Nachmanides, introduces us to the code from the Midrash, Ma'aseh Avot, Siman Levanim. The deeds of our forefathers are a sign or a code of what will occur to their children. He does this in the narrative about Abraham, who migrates to Egypt because of a famine. There his wife Sarah is taken hostage. God intervenes by smiting Pharaoh and his people with a plague. Ultimately, Pharaoh ushers Abraham and Sarah out of the country, and they leave with gifts of great wealth. This precisely mirrors what happens later on to Abraham's children, says the Ramban. Jacob goes down to Egypt with his family because of a famine. In time, the Jews, like Sarah, were enslaved. God intervened with plagues, and Pharaoh, king of Egypt, insists that the Jews leave, and they leave with great wealth. My friends, although we are not on the same level as our forefathers, there is a powerful lesson here for us. To a great extent, what we do, especially what they see us do, will be a sign of what happens to our children. If you show your enthusiasm for God, for his Torah, for our traditions and customs, your children will eventually show and demonstrate their enthusiasm. A great lesson. Have a great Shabbos.